I'm a hair mineral analysis expert. I have a background in functional medicine, and I educate people using HTMA testing to maximize health, erase debilitating symptoms, and gain energy. I'm a multi-time kettlebell sport world champion, and I'm constantly searching for high-performance pros from all over the world to bring you this human optimization podcast. My name is Lisa Pitel-Killah. Hello, everybody, and here is a brand new episode of the Human Optimization Podcast. I am your host, Lisa Pitel-Killah. And so today, I think you're going to be so excited to be part of this conversation that I'm going to have with Tom Paladino. And so let me tell you a little bit about Tom. He's a holistic medical expert, scalar energy researcher, and humanitarian, and he's based in Florida. Scalar energy is the fundamental life force found everywhere in the world, space, and universe. It originates from the sun and the stars. Chi, prana, mana, life force, pyramid energy, or 0-point energy are synonymous terms for scalar energy. Tom theorized that all energy in the universe initiates as scalar energy, and that the sun of our solar system and the stars of the universe are the point of the origin, the storehouses for scalar energy. He further theorized that scalar energy is instructive energy, as the entire universe is instructed by this divine essence. Subsequently, all spiritual, cognitive, emotional, and physical action in the universe is initiated and maintained by scalar energy instructions. Scalar energy provides order in the universe. And Tom, welcome to the Human Optimization Podcast.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I think your audience will find this quite intriguing. Thanks, Lisa.
Well, I cannot wait to hear all about what you're going to share with our audience today. And so give us a little background on you. There's always a story behind the person and how we got here. So share with our audience, our viewers, and our listeners a little about that.
Okay, thank you. The story is this. As a youngster, I was intrigued with the scientist Nikola Tesla, the great scientist. And I realized that Tesla later in his life was working with free energy or scalar energy. These are free energy instruments behind me. And I decided to devote my life to that technology and to bring this opportunity, free energy, to the world, to mankind. And so we're going to discuss about this free energy from the sun and the stars and the benefits. I want to clue in on the benefits, key in on the benefits to be derived therefrom.
Excellent. And so let's start off here. Let's start off with maybe just a quick little synopsis of the benefits of scalar energy for health, wellness, and of course, optimization.
What are we getting at with scalar energy as a cause of phenomenon, as a cause, the first cause? We can improve the human state of being, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. These instruments act upon us, our soul, mind, and body. So there are many benefits to be derived from these instruments. Now, this is a scalar energy instrument, and it is now broadcasting light. I feel that light. This instrument is so strong, I want to demonstrate for the audience, that it's ambient energy. There's so much energy around that Tesla coil, it can illuminate a light bulb. I'm holding in my hand a light bulb.
Yeah.
If I place this light bulb close to the instrument, it lights up. That's how powerful the energy is.
Wow.
And that's the identical energy that's going to enter into my soul, mind, and body. And here's maybe this will demonstrate.
And so for those of you who are listening rather than watching, I want to describe so this cylinder, right? We're in Tom's lab basically, and this cylinder is on the desk, and he literally just held up a light bulb, and the light bulb turned on once he got close to that cylinder.
Here's another indication. This is another fluorescent tube. It's still in its factory packaging.
It's literally in its factory packaging.
And when I place it close to the instrument, the free energy of scalar energy will animate the light bulb.
That is incredible. The light is literally on, and it's still in its package.
Now, how does that benefit people? keep in mind this is a new science. When I work with people by way of their photograph. I'm going to
Yep.
hold up my photograph.
Yep.
My photograph is my signature.
Hmm.
A piece of paper, even though it's a photograph, has my signature. It has my spirit. It has my mind. It has my body attached to that.
Hmm.
So I don't work with people. I work with photographs, which is the bilocated version of a person.
Yep.
I don't care where you live in the world. If you email me your photograph, I can place it in the instrument. And now you're under the influence of scalar energy.
Wow.
So people never visit me. I never work in the flesh. I work in the quantum.
Yeah.
This is quantum healing,
Yeah.
healing through a force field or through an energy field. It's not a biological process. I don't use chemicals. I
Hmm.
only use light, and I access a person not directly, but through their photograph, which is their bilocated version.
That's
So I only
incredible.
work with photographs. Now, what
Yeah.
do I mean by that? There's so much energy that I can direct into a photograph. Once again, I'll take the light bulb and
Hmm.
I'll illuminate my photograph. Now, this is akin to a chakra balancing. So
Yeah.
if I place my photograph in the instrument, that's the type of energy that's entering into my force field.
Wow.
The same amount of energy that will illuminate a light bulb
Yep.
is the amount of energy that will enter into my force field. That's a chakra
Wow.
balancing. And people experience that.
Yeah.
People say that they have deep dream states or
Hmm.
that they have a sense of tranquility through this corrective intelligence. So again, I'm
That
taking a
is
scalar
amazing.
energy instrument. For those who cannot view this, I'm taking a scalar energy instrument. I'm subjecting my photograph to the energy of scalar energy.
Hmm.
And it's so much energy, it performs a chakra balancing.
Yeah. That's that's incredible. And so again, the light bulb is illuminating right through the picture, right? Um,
Correct.
and
Correct.
so let's talk a little bit about how this affects the medical model or how this affects healing.
Right. Right. Okay. So that's one benefit. Now, I want to make this clear. This is divine energy. I'm not in control of this. This is
Yeah.
God's energy. And in
Yeah.
so doing, that chakra balancing, I always call it self directed, or it has
Hmm.
a mind of its own. It's consciousness. So simply by placing my photograph in the force field,
Yeah.
the energy itself will correct an imbalance, an emotional problem, a
Right.
problem with addiction,
Hmm.
a sleep problem. It will correct perhaps the indulgence for food or narcotics. Many
Yeah.
people will come to us say once we place their photograph in that force field, that they're no longer have an affinity, a desire for excessive alcohol, or they can quit
Interesting.
marijuana
Yeah.
or some other drug, or perhaps their sleep pattern is improved. If you balance your brain waves, you're going to have a full night of sleep without interruption.
Yeah.
This is the power of scalar energy. This is what we can do with this powerful energy.
That is amazing. And so I find it so interesting too, and we're going to get into some more topics, but just the fact that you don't have to have the person there, right?
Right,
Physically.
right,
That is
correct.
amazing because a lot of energy work, it's energy transmission from one human technically to another, but this is on a whole other level.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Now, to give the audience a parallel, we're having a conversation through our computers.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm not in your office, you're not in my laboratory.
Yep.
Your image, my image share telephonically.
Yep.
Well, we can do the same thing. This image, my photograph, can be shared. Okay? You have bilocated to my laboratory, by the way, by way of this Zoom call.
Yep.
I have bilocated to your office.
Hmm.
Again, we're not working with people in the flesh. We work with people by way of the photograph. So in a
That's
scalar energy
amazing.
dimension, people can bilocate. They can
Right.
multi-locate.
Yep.
Why? The universe is holographic. So you don't
Yep.
look at this as point A to point B.
Hmm.
Everything is interconnected. There is no point A and point B. There's
Yep.
only one point. This is the unifying field. This is the unifying principle, meaning
Yep.
one. What type of unifying? There's only one point. There's only one time.
Yeah.
So we transcend time and space with scalar energy, and you do that through your photograph.
Well, that's so interesting. Okay. So now, when we're talking about our human, us, right, there's a lot of things that affect us. Those things being important, our microbiome, right? And so thinking about what we're exposed to, pathogens. A lot of us in the integrative world, right, of medicine, are talking about pathogens constantly because people are exposed to viruses, fungi, bacteria, right? Parasites. And so let's talk about scalar energy and how it affects that aspect
Sure.
of us.
So you see, my photograph is side by side the photograph of the human papillomavirus. So there's a sharing of information now. My photograph is communicating with the human papillomavirus, and in so doing, this process, this instrument can identify HPV, human papillomavirus, in me and bring it to a state of chaos. So the life force energy of human papillomavirus is interrupted, and we interrupt it with some type of unbinding of its molecular bonds. We shatter the molecular bonds, so to speak,
Yeah.
and the human papillomavirus falls apart. Again, this is not a biochemical process, it's an informational process through a photograph.
Wow. Okay. And I mean, so this works with anything that's ailing someone
Yes, it does.
because
So,
it's
yeah,
it's bringing it to the surface. It's bringing it into that chaos point,
yes.
right?
So I have photographs of over 400,000 species of pathogens.
Yeah.
Here's another photograph. Borrelia burgdorferi,
Ah, yes.
the underlying cause of Lyme disease in North
Yep.
America.
Hmm.
If I were to place this inside the instrument would share the information of the Lyme spirochete, Borrelia burgdorferi, with me. We would communicate. And in so doing, the quantum field now, the information is to find the Lyme spirochete in me and shatter it, bring it to a state of chaos. So
Right.
that's a very simple and straightforward process. And I want to make this very clear there's no human thinking involved. I use photographs. I don't interpret a photograph. I don't have to. There's a
Yeah.
source of energy, there's a source of light, there's an interpretation that the instrument conducts
Hmm.
as to the atomic and molecular bonds, as to the genetic structure of Borrelia burgdorferi. And so all of this is a light process, hence,
Yeah.
it's mistake proof. It's a fail safe process. Light is the animating force. Light interprets the photograph, which is a source of light. There's no room for human error, human reasoning.
Mm,
That's why this works.
right. Okay. This is people. I know now people are driving or listening and their mouths are open. And I know they can't see the machine, but hopefully you can hop on YouTube and see the machine that Tom has behind him in the lab. And so so treating by remotely by way of a photograph. And what about so taking unbalanced energy? What about stress? The one
Correct.
epidemic in the right that we all kind of go through is stress. And I think part of that stress too, and maybe this is on a different level as well. So correct me, please, just with my interpretation. Electromagnetic fields. Where does that fit into all of this? And then again, that the contribution to stress based on that.
Okay. Um, you're right. Electromagnetic energy, electricity and magnetism, I believe are harmful in some cases because it's not the primary fundamental energy. Electricity and magnetism are a subset of scalar energy. I'm working with the energy of the sun and the stars
Yeah.
that can only produce a beneficial outcome. Whereas there are some frequencies of electricity, those frequencies have proven to be harmful. We've heard reports that some cell phones could be dangerous, microwaves could be dangerous,
Right.
cell phone towers could be dangerous. This is not a frequency. I don't work with frequency. I work with the stars. And I don't say this to be snide. Nobody's ever had an allergic reaction to the stars. Nobody's
That's
ever
true.
developed a medical condition from the stars. There
That's
are trillions upon trillions of stars and galaxies in the universe. And those stars and galaxies have not been attributed to one medical condition.
yeah.
So I'm working with the energy of the stars, not electrical frequencies. Now, I believe brain waves and our seven chakras are caused by scalar energy, scalar light.
Oh.
We think because of this illumination. Now, where did that word illumination or enlightenment come from? Probably was derived from the fact that early philosophers thought that light illumined the mind, illuminated the mind. I think they're
Mhm.
right. And in specific, I think it's scalar energy that illuminates the mind. Why? When people undergo this chakra balancing, by the way, we experience the chakra balancing for 1 hour. So if you sign up for our program, you'll be under this influence of chakra balancing for an hour. It will have a advantageous result, if you will, impact upon your thinking and upon your seven chakras. If our seven chakras are spinning vortices, that describes scalar energy. It's non-physical spinning energy.
Right.
So the best way to balance your seven chakras that are composed of scalar energy is with the scalar energy instrument, as opposed to electricity, which will interfere with our spinning
Right.
vortices of scalar energy.
Right. And
So,
for those people listening or watching, can you go through some people may not know what the seven chakras actually are and just what that means to us as well.
those seven chakras, um, many people say that we have a chakra that's physically above us, that really controls the incoming scalar light into our body, and then there's six chakras throughout, running in a, if you will, a vertical axis down to our root chakra. So
Mhm.
there's various interpretations of chakras. My point is this: whether, regardless of your philosophical leanings, light is fundamental, and light is going to have an advantageous effect upon those seven chakras that are created by scalar light. So, what's the benefit now? Well, the crown chakra usually makes you happier. When your crown chakra is spinning correctly, people say they have a feeling of elation, or they're happier, or their depression is lifted.
Yeah.
When we enter into the other chakras, many people say their digestion is improved,
Mm.
or that they're no longer anxious, or in some way that they have a sense of a purpose, or they can, if you will, eliminate some trauma in their lives, or at least deal with trauma. Some people say that this has enhanced their libido. Maybe that's all the way down to the root chakra.
Yeah.
So there are seven chakras. We're learning about them to assign a specific function to each chakra. It's hard to do because
Yeah.
we're working with invisible energy.
Right.
But what I've proven thus far, after working with millions of people, is that they're happier with the
Mm.
chakra balancing, that they can sleep without interruption, that they have a vivid dream recall because of, on account of the fact of the chakra balancing. So, with all of that in mind, after working with millions of people, I'm convinced of the cause and effect relationship. The cause is scalar energy, this invisible energy from the stars.
Mhm.
The effect is the balancing or the reprogramming of not only our brain waves but our seven chakras.
Mm. That makes sense. And and so how at what point, I guess, when did you discover and kind of when did you discover all of this and even the machine, like how did all that come about? I
I'm
want to know.
60, yeah, I am 60. I'm 63 years of age, so this has been a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
I started to study Tesla at the age of 9, 10, 11 years of age. So I've been at this for 50 years now.
Wow.
In the 90s, I met with a family by the name of Hieronymus, and they were actually working with scalar energy instruments. They sold me scalar energy instruments, and
Yeah.
I never met the inventor, but I worked with his instruments, Galen Hieronymus.
Mhm.
And many of these instruments are really a derivative of his earlier work. Now, with that in mind, it's a long process. Why? Because this is a new science,
Right.
and when it's a new science, you have to take one step at a time, almost baby steps, and it's really time consuming.
Mhm.
I learn, but I learn slowly. I wish there were some expedited fashion. There's not.
No. And when you are paving the way to a new emerging type of healing, that is a long journey, right? And obviously you've invested that time and now here we are. And so what I guess when we're talking about, so in relationship to how do you see this interacting with some of the other things that people do? Whether it is working on stress, how they respond to stress. Like, do you find that I feel like sometimes people get ingrained in patterns when they're stressed and how they deal with that? Do you find that this helps kind of bring something into that helps them deal with that a little bit differently so that they can adapt that into their life as well?
Yes, I do, and without equivocation, yes to that. Why?
Yeah,
This energy, once again, is fundamental. Why do I emphasize that? Because nothing can impede it, and if it's fundamental, then it's truth. It's corrective intelligence. That chakra balancing has been shown to not only lift people from their depression,
yeah.
but correct their conscience. Many people
Mm,
say, "Well, I was overeating. I no longer overeat." Others would say, "I'm much calmer. I'm not so prone to anger."
yeah,
So, did I do that? No. The energy is corrective. I firmly believe we're working with a divine source, scalar energies from God. The stars, our sun, are the storehouses of this energy. And so much potential is behind this consciousness, this
yeah,
fundamental light, to the point that, yes, I think it will be the preferred tool for mental and emotional well being in the future. I don't think we're going to be using
amazing.
drugs so much. I think we'll be using scalar energy to correct a mental and emotional imbalance.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so I think that, when we're thinking about just health in general, right? Not even optimization, but just health. There are so many things that people can be struggling with, right? And I think that it is amazing the fact that you've brought to the table and identified something that can literally help them, and it's such a simple process,
Yes,
right? You just need a photograph.
right.
That's it. And so tell us, I mean, you're obviously, so how many machines do you have? How many photographs do you look at in a
Yeah.
month or a day, or what does that look like?
I have about approximately 50 instruments,
Okay.
and in one day, I could work with easily 5 million photographs.
Oh my gosh.
A photograph can be miniaturized and
Okay.
placed on a collage,
Yep.
and I could easily place in the instrument 2, 3 million miniaturized photographs at a time. Earlier in my lab this morning, I was working with 500,000 photographs.
Yep.
Now, keep in mind, a person will bilocate to my laboratory through their photograph. So
Right.
many times people will send me an entire family portrait of 5, 6, 7 people. So
Right.
one photograph could treat a family of 5 or 6,
Yeah.
or one photograph could treat, say, people who would assemble in a soccer stadium, and 1,000 people wanted to be treated with scalar energy. So you would take a photograph of a soccer stadium and treat 1,000 people by way of one photograph.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
So you could see how this is the multiplier effect, and you could see how when we transcend time and space, you don't visit an office, you don't visit a laboratory,
Hmm.
you simply send in your photograph.
Yeah.
This technology, not only for quantum health, but for free energy and for telecommunications, etc., this is going to change industry. Scalar energy will make obsolete much of our existing technology today. We will see the new and improved technology with scalar energy.
Amazing, amazing. And I can't get over, I'm in awe of the fact that, and again, if you're not watching, this is really hard to, I guess, imagine, but even coming close to that color, the energy that's coming out of that column illuminated a light bulb that was still in a package, right?
Yeah.
That is incredible.
I feel this energy from the Tesla coil. I feel it
Yeah.
just pulsing. It's a pulsation. It's not a waveform, it's a pulse. I feel it as we're speaking. Actually, my
Yeah.
headphones are buzzing from that energy.
Wow. Wow, that's incredible. And so what about, and now I'm curious. So, I mean, you're working with these instruments, you're there. right? You're in that space, physical space. How does that, I don't want to say affect you more, but how does that affect the people within your lab?
Yeah. Uh, I've noticed that working around these instruments, I'm usually very happy, and I think that it's almost to the point that I don't observe it every day, but I
Right.
should.
Right.
I have a feeling of elation when I'm around this energy. It
Ah,
changes. It probably changes our brain chemicals. It probably stimulates serotonin and acetylcholine and dopamine.
mhm.
Um, and in so doing, many people say, for whatever reason, they're much happier when they're on the chakra balancing. Well, there's merit to that because
Mhm.
if you're balancing the brain waves, you're also probably balancing our neurotransmitters and our
Of course.
endorphins.
Yeah.
So you put all that into consideration. After working with this energy now for the past 30 years, it has prolonged my life. I'm very healthy.
Hmm.
I realize that this is probably preventing disease, illness, not only in me, but many of the people who undertake our program.
Yeah.
Light is corrective. Light is the first principle. And therefrom, if we don't have the proper light, we'll have disease or we'll have some type of imbalance.
Of course.
Why
Yeah.
do I keep saying this is fundamental? If you go back to the fundamental cause, which is light, and if that light is not impeded by anything, you'll have sound health. In some cases, perfect health.
Hmm. Wow. And so now let's talk about the use of this. The I mean, is this something that people need to do? How does it work if someone wants to work with you and do this type of work with scalar energy? What does that look like?
A long time ago, I decided I wanted to heal the world. And the best way to introduce this, it's a new technique. I offer everybody in the world 15 days of free sessions. Anybody can go to my website, sign up. You're going to send us just your facial shot. We don't need a full body.
Yeah.
Send us email us your photograph. And then I let people judge how they feel. Now, these instruments have never been duplicated. I have no peers. So, with that in mind, how do I have people experience this? Buy a 15-day free session. It's free. That's the key. And what I'm trying to develop, Lisa, is a groundswell of support. I want people to
Yeah.
say, yeah, there's something to this. So that's why I give away free sessions on my website. Let the people speak.
Yeah.
The body of evidence are the testimonies.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And is it, and so once you get someone's photo, okay, uh what happens then? Do they get put into kind of a mini photo on a machine and it stays there?
Yeah,
Or is it, how does that work?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just curious.
I'll explain. So 1 hour a day, I
Hmm.
work with chakras. So when a person sends me their photograph,
Yeah.
again, 1 hour a day,
Hmm.
I'll I'll submit their photograph to the chakra balancing so
Yep.
strong that it's going to balance their brain waves. It's going to balance their seven chakras. And then for another hour, I work with pathogens. So
Ah,
1 hour a day chakras and 1 hour a day I work with pathogens. I eliminate pathogens by way of this corrective energy.
yeah.
And then the remaining 22 hours, I work with nutrients. And again, it's all by way of photographs.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm holding in my hand a magnified photograph of vitamin B2,
Hmm.
riboflavin.
Hmm.
And if I place riboflavin next to my photograph in the force field, what happens is a downloading of energy of riboflavin into my quantum plane. In other words, I can recreate riboflavin inside of me.
Hmm.
For 22 hours a day, I work with people by way of this nutritional program.
Yeah.
It's not a chemical process. You're not being administered physical nutrients. You're you're administered the corrective intelligence of nutrients. So one
Wow.
hour a day of chakras, 1 hour a day of a pathogen cleanse, and then the remaining 22 hours
Of
of a nutrient
nutrient.
program.
That's
So
so
24
interesting.
hours a day, I'm working with people. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of correction, so to speak.
Yeah.
And after 2, 3, 4 weeks, people feel better. The greater majority of people say there's something here that they feel a shift.
Yeah. And I guess for that person, everybody feels a shift at a different time because everybody's dealing with something different,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And
Oh,
what's very telling, people will send photographs of their dogs and cats, and
I was,
dogs or cats see their owners recognize a significant improvement in their health. Now, a dog or a cat is not aware that they're being treated by a scalar energy instrument
right.
in the United States. So, what's my point? It works. There's no placebo effect with your pet. So, I suggest people not only sign themselves up, but your pets, your entire family,
Yeah.
and then you be the judge how you and your pets respond.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. I was going to ask about animals. That was on my next, because I mean, we all love our animals, right? In many cases, a lot of people, that's their kids, is their fur babies, and so they're obviously very special in to all of us. So, wow, okay, I'm just like blown away by what can happen here, and just the fact that of again the source of this energy and where it's coming from and the pureness of it and that elevated state of what that looks like for people and being able to heal on a different level without even thinking about healing necessarily.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. The
amazing.
healing agent is the energy.
Yeah,
We simply accept that healing agent. Now, again, scalar energy transcends time and space. It doesn't matter where you live. Your photograph, it doesn't matter how old the photograph is, your
yeah,
signature on that photograph remains with you for life.
yep,
So, and again, the stars are friendly. Nobody's ever attributed a medical condition to the stars.
yeah.
So it's 100% safe.
Wow. And so I know you had talked about the inventor of the machine and the fact that the family was who you met, but when did this machine come about? When was that?
Galen Hieronymus secured a U.S. Patent in 1949 and later a Canadian patent in
Yeah,
1949. And he tried heroically throughout his life to introduce free energy to the world.
yeah,
Back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, there's a learning curve. They did not
right,
understand this. And so
right.
we're just starting to understand what Tesla and Hieronymus achieved.
Yeah.
This is a different dimension. We're
Hmm.
not working in the electromagnetic dimension. There's two dimensions. We're working in the other dimension. There
Yeah.
is another reality. There is another dimension. It's scalar energy, what some people call 0 point energy.
Hmm.
And yes, this is a vortex of energy. It's very real.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow. And almost 75 years later,
Yeah.
here we are, right?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
amazing. And I mean, and to bring back into the picture the fact that you've been doing this for over 50,
Yes.
that is amazing as well. So, yeah, that
You
is,
you have to love it, Lisa. You either like doing this, you either have a love for it,
you
or
do.
you're not going to last 50 years.
Yep, I agree 100%. Yeah, you have to be passionate about what you're doing, and you obviously are. And so again, if you guys are listening, I definitely think that take the time to log into YouTube, follow the channel, and just be able to see the machine and the effect it had on the light, because it is incredible. The fact that the power of that light is being able to illuminate a light bulb. Again, it's not even plugged
Yeah.
into anything. That is absolutely incredible.
Tesla, by the way, had a tower in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and he would, close in proximity to that tower, he would plant light bulbs in the ground, and apparently he could illuminate light bulbs
Oh
that
my
were
gosh.
planted in the ground in the vicinity of his tower. So, is this free energy? Well, that sounds like free energy to me.
Sounds like free
But you,
energy to me.
yeah,
Wow, that is incredible. Okay, and so don't forget, so 15 days free trial. And all they have to do, so how do they sign up for their free trial? They go to scalarlight.com,
correct. And just sign up. The 15-day free trial is right there, front and center. Don't be
download a
bashful.
photo. Yep,
That's it.
download a photo, and it's as easy as that.
That's it. Just provide your email because we're going to send you daily email notices. We want you to know what you're experiencing.
Yep,
And that's it. There's no holds barred. This is how you introduce a new science.
yep,
I have to be very friendly. I have to be allow people from all walks of life to try this. That's the
yep,
point.
yep,
Keep in mind I'm the only one with this instrument, so I have to get the word out somehow. This is
of
how
course.
I educate people.
Yeah. Well, you definitely educated me today, and I know that our listeners and viewers are going to be really interested and have, most likely, I always say, if anybody has at least one aha moment, then our our presence here, we've done our jobs, right?
Definitely.
So, yeah. So, Tom, I want to thank you for taking the
Thank
time
you.
to share this amazing information. And so, for all of you, again, listening, watching, scalarlight.com, that's where you can sign up for your 15-day free trial with Tom. Super easy. All you have to do is send along a photo. Again, it doesn't have to be a recent photo, right?
Right.
That's your
Correct.
blueprint. So it can be any photo. And we'll share all of Tom's links in the description here, as well as on your favorite podcast host. So make sure you visit his Instagram, his Facebook, and follow on social media, of course. And so thank you to all of you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my channel. There's a brand new human optimization podcast launched every 2 weeks. Give this episode a thumbs up. And if you're listening on your favorite podcast host, make sure you give this episode a like, and we will see you next time. Thanks for listening to today's show. Head over to lisaPitel-Killah.com to gain access to some amazing free resources that will help you gain energy, erase debilitating symptoms, and be the best version of you. Remember to give this podcast a like and follow me on social media at Lisa Pitel-Killah. I'm here every 2 weeks with a brand new episode of the Human Optimization Podcast. Until next time.